Hello, I am Disbrew, and today I never thought I'd be making a video on a Marvel-based MMO, but that's where we are. Now, Marvel-based MMO is coming from the creator of City of Heroes, and honestly, Marvel with an MMO seems a little bit odd to me, especially as their last game, Marvel's Avengers, crashed. As you can see with Marvel's Avengers, this is a game which literally started at 28,000 players and then just died in 2 weeks down to 3 and stayed there until July of this year when I'm assuming there was some kind of update and then very quickly died again. This is not a game that was a big success and it really kind of makes you think, Marvel, do they really have the name recognition? Do really people want to play that in a game? And indeed, we have a more recent example in Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy, which, you know, it stayed okay, started about 8,000 players, then really dived and has seen a recent uptick, back up to 3.7. But those aren't MMO numbers. MMOs need a lot of players, and this is going to be one of their issues. MMOs aren't just the single-player game like Guardians of the Galaxy. You play for 15 hours and move on. You need serious commitment to an IP, serious commitment to a game for that. You need hundreds, if not thousands of hours that people need to be willing to place in that. And I'm not sure Marvel are really there right now. Back before Endgame, when the Avengers were kicking off, yeah, it was big news, but now I don't think that Marvel carries that same kind of weight. But if we have a look at the developers, they're a bit of a question as well. You see, this is Daybreak Games, and if you actually go to their website to see the games they've produced, yeah, it's some MMOs. You got DC Universe, EverQuest, EverQuest 2, both successful. PlanetSide 2, one of my personal favorite games, and H1Z1, again, that battle royale got record numbers. None of them for a very, very long time, though, and that is worrying when you haven't had a successful game for a while. It makes you question if you can actually handle something like this. And it's not like they've had the best of history. As you can see here, they actually had to lay off employees in April and December of 2018, then again in 2019, and in 2020 they actually had a new business structure and ended up getting bought out by EG7. But EG7 have said that they will invest significant amounts into their old games and obviously new ones, so hey, maybe they've now got the ability to handle something like this. My issue is whenever anyone mentions an MMO, I think of to the hundreds of failed MMOs that are out there. These are really complex games, and they're games which either seem to massively succeed or just flop because nobody plays them. It's always been difficult to knock off the top few MMOs, and getting someone to transfer from an MMO they've put thousands of hours into a new one is notoriously difficult. And up until recently, I would have said that MMOs were just kind of the end. No one had made one for years, and everyone just wanted to stay where they were. But there was one game which disproved all that, and that was New World. New World had and still has incredible figures. Yes, it started at 410,000 players and has dropped 58%, but it's still holding 171,000 with a peak of 404. Those numbers are very impressive, especially when it carries over to the top games, and it's still the third top played on Steam, and Steam has literally just today announced record player numbers, so to be third on this platform is very impressive. What we can tell by that is that MMOs, there's still a hunger for them as long as you can nail the combat system, as long as you can come up with the right IP and get the right backing, then the players are there and willing to play it. They're willing to swap, and this makes it Daybreak Games to lose. I'm just not sure that the Marvel name is anymore enough to carry it. Now, New World is a new IP, so that literally came out of nowhere to get it, but it was backed by Amazon. I think this one, the play is name recognition, and if they're hoping on just that to succeed, they're mistaken. They're going to need a lot more than Marvel's name. Now, New World at least had an interesting combat system that kind of hooked people in, and then they went from there. But Marvel is also going to need some kind of feature like that, some kind of new killer feature to rope people in. And Daybreak Games, they've done it before. PlanetSide 2 was an FPS unlike any other, and H1Z1, that was a game that roped people in. Even though the base game was terrible, the battlegrounds actually massively took off, and so they know how to make games, they know how to rope people in, and they could do it with this. I just hope they realize that in this, the Marvel name isn't going to be enough, and they're definitely going to have to bring more to the table if they want something as majorly successful that requires such a major time commitment as an MMO to be a success. So it's interesting news, but at this time, you really need to see more. We need to see how much effort they're going to put into this and how much they're willing to risk. Yeah, this is Daybreak's definitely to lose. But for now, that's it from me. If you liked the video, press like and subscribe for more videos in the future. And let me know what you think of a Marvel MMO down below. It's an interesting idea for sure. But for now, that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.